How to respond if a girl rejects you. If your objective is to improve your dating life or simply to enjoy life to the fullest, you will undoubtedly go through many declines where you simply can't do things well and must cope with rejection. It's completely natural and a step in the direction of improving oneself. I'm going to offer you some advice on how to deal with rejection, screw up your thinking, and really use it to help you learn and develop today. The main thing is how you handle rejection, since it's a truth that every guy gets turned down by females. Think of anybody you can think of. 1. Resist adding to the rejection. The initial reaction most individuals have when they are rejected is to feel incredibly humiliated. Then they begin to replay the situation in their minds, reflecting on what they may have said and done. Following the rejection, they start to beat themselves up in self-pity, saying things like, "I must be bad at pickup or be a horrible person if I didn't avoid the rejection." When something awful occurs, most individuals tend to feed into this negative feedback cycle. The only way to stop this downward cycle is to do so as soon as it begins. Consider the major lessons you should have learned from the rejection you just received rather than beating yourself up over it. Analyze what you've learned and how you intend to use it the next time, rather than repeating the rejection and criticizing yourself for what you should have done. 2. Encourage yourself to think positively. Your mind will be filled with negativity when you face rejection, and the longer you remain in that condition, the more discouraging it will be and the more of an adverse effect it will have. You should immediately turn it into a beneficial learning experience because of this. Consider how you'll move more quickly the next time, and won't repeat your mistake, or how you now know not to text a lady too frequently. Consider the advantages you gain from being rejected, including the fact that you have more time to concentrate and seek other females who will teach you even more. It might not work at first, but if you develop the mental habit of seeing the bright side of bad events, it will eventually become second nature and make life much simpler. 3. Stop giving a damn. She could have had a rough day or be chatting to someone to whom she already feels devoted. Or maybe she wasn't really into you, and it's all right. I don't blame you. No fault of hers. Simply put, this wasn't supposed to happen. Move on. Where that originated from, there are almost 3 billion more. In addition, if you move on and start fucking other females after being rejected, she will realize that you are not a little bitch who will sit around sobbing and waiting for her to change her mind. This is the only way you can convince her to change her mind and like you. In my experience, you have 2 options once a female rejects you. Either go on and try again in a few months, when she will have forgotten about you. Since it has been so long since she last heard from you, she will be more receptive to you in this manner. However, I wouldn't bet on it. The best course of action is to go on. 4. Try not to act like a little bitch about it. Flipping out over rejection is the worst response. You're a fucking loser if you are rejected and then start shouting, have an emotional response, or just make some passive-aggressive remarks. You are a loser, not one who just looks like one. These females are free to reject you. You owe them nothing. If you have a tendency to respond to rejection in this manner and then begin to mutter things like, "Oh, this dumb stupid woman, fuck her," and there you have it, you're a loser, which is why you were rejected. Fortunately for you though, most guys are born losers and it's really possible to change that. 5. Always keep a list of women on hand. This advice is possibly the most crucial one available. When you're chatting to a lot of different females, especially if you're having success with them, it might be incredibly difficult to focus on one lady who rejected you. Another thing is that, if the rejection occurred in a setting like a school, and you moved on right away and started talking to another girl, you would get over the first girl. However, if the first girl witnesses you being such a boss who doesn't give a shit about the rejection and just chills and talks to some other girl, she might have second thoughts and change her mind. It doesn't make sense to overinvest in any one lady so early on. Therefore, I usually chat to 3, 4 ladies at once. It's important to keep your choices open and avoid wasting time on a woman who is most likely not going to be worth it in the end.